Today is April Fool's Day, but I'm not going to pull an April Fool on you. I want to watch Fomalhaut come up over the horizon today, right after the sun. Actually, we have a spectacular view in the east and in the south this morning. You can go outside and you can see the moon, Venus, and Mercury on the horizon. It is 4:32 a.m. in Las Vegas. But by the time I hope to get this posted, we'll move it up by minutes and watch Mercury rise. And then the sun's going to come up in the east. And right after the sun hits the horizon, the tip of Fomalhaut will hit. And it'll come fully in at 5:42 a.m. When you're looking at the sun, look to the right or to the southeast, and you will see Fomalhaut is in the southeast. Right under the moon. Look right below the moon, and you'll see Mercury, Venus, the moon, all in Aquarius this morning. And that is no April Fool's, but simply following the Lamb wherever it goes. And we can watch him. Let's watch as Fomalhaut moves through the sky today. Let's put this down here. Let me zoom in on Fomalhaut. Actually, don't. Let's just watch it on the horizon. We can literally watch as it moves through the sky. It'll have a rising. Whoops. I've already got us at 11, almost noon. So it's going to come up at 6. And we're going to watch it set in the southwest. It rises in the southeast and it sets in the southwest. So we can watch Fomalhaut set right before the moon. So if you go out and watch the moon, you'll actually see Venus and Mercury above the moon at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Pacific Coast time. And then Fomalhaut will set right before the moon does. It rises after the sun and sets before the moon. It's rising in the southeast and setting in the southwest. And I'm going to call this Fomalhaut today, or Thalem today. But that is the Lamb, and that is the times that you could go out and see. Let's see when we can get a perfect south alignment, due south, which would kind of be like high noon to Fomalhaut. Let's pull it back. Fomalhaut will be due south at about 10:03 this morning, Pacific Coast time. All right, that is where the Lamb will be today. If you have anything to say, we're told we have not because we ask not. To me, all of the heavenly bodies are living conscience entities. There's no doubt in my mind the sun is. I've had conversations with the sun as a child coming into this body. And I'm aware that at this time it emits a masculine frequency. That I don't need anybody to tell me. I experienced it, so there's no question in my mind. And I know exactly who was conversing with me. and how it was done. And the sun is like a portal, but it is a living consciousness behind it. And I'm assuming that's going to change. That as our bodies can be possessed by spirits, can be influenced by, how would you say that? Energies, frequencies, intelligences, the elements. You know, I did not choose astrology. Everybody wants me to write a book or start a class and teach this. I don't know how to do that. I didn't choose it. I was into language, and I just stumbled upon alchemy. It wasn't something that I went looking for. It just kind of fell in my lap. So I examined it, and I never believed in astrology. But when I put alchemy and the language together, it opened up the Bible to me, and I realized what the Bible was really saying, and it was telling me about the stars. And so I began doing charts, 15-minute charts, to put the people on the right cross, and then the patterns began to appear, and I followed the patterns, and this wheel began talking to me. I have become very familiar with what Venus is like in Aquarius. I'm born with Venus in Aquarius. I know exactly what that feels like. And I've gotten used to her and how she treats me in the different constellations, whether they're masculine, feminine, whether they're mutable, fixed, or cardinal. You could say mutable, whether they're changeable. Here is the illuminated mind. It would be the changeable, illuminated mind connected to the heart. Well, this is you up here. This is me and you up here. This is us. This is, if these planets are connected to our chakras, this is us. This is the storyline. We all go through these same things. The Christ said that no man, he suffered everything we have. That becoming in the flesh, he suffered everything we did. And everything these are our crosses, are our burdens. So our suffering this is a wheel of suffering, but it's also a wheel of fortune, because of the duality in it. It appears that what it's teaching us about duality is that there are two sides to everything, and the observer affects the experiment. So when you look at darkness, darkness looks back at you. When you look at light, light looks back at you. Like in The Lord of the Rings, when he looks in the eye, and he says, when you're looking in, they're looking back at you. When you can see, they can see you too. And there are two ways to look at everything. And what we spend our time observing is what the universe gives us back. This lesson really got hit home with me over the winter solstice. And that was the fact that I started becoming grateful for what I do have. And I stopped focusing my time on what all my problems were. And instantly, my life changed. In ways, even in the little nuances in life, it all changed. From the big things to the little things. And I realized nothing changed but me. It was me that changed. It was my perception of it. I had been in gloom and doom, in this gray matter, for so long. I couldn't see beyond it. I couldn't see the light. I couldn't see the sun come out until I was so in the dark looking at the stars, twinkle, twinkle, little stars. And alone here with all of my things I don't like. I was going through this Sagittarius, Saturn in Sagittarius with Pluto, and I've been doing my own shadow work trying to purge. And this is what I've purged, was the darkness out of my own mind and my own perception. And now to me it's all light. I know the bad's there. I know it's there. I'm not in denial, but now I've learned to focus on the light, knowing I'm the observer. And if I'm observing and I'm looking at the light, then the light's going to look back at me. And that's what I want to share for you today on what they call the Day of Fools. I'm not going to go into April Fools, but to me, basically what it is the calendars got really off, and we have no idea what day to start the zodiac is supposed to start on the spring solstice. That's the beginning. That's when the seed pops out of the ground. It's the balance. It's the beginning. The day and the night are of equal length, and it's the morning. And that's where it's supposed to start. But to me, it has to do with a wrong solstice day or a wrong festival day, because it might not be associated, but yeah, wrong day. But today we have a beautiful event in the sky while Mercury has come out of his retrograde and he's headed back into Pisces and debilitation in just a few days. So get ready for that. But right now we have this break. And then we have what is it? The moon's going to do its thing. And Taurus, let's get the moon over there. Where did my moon go? And why is it going the other? What am I got? No, okay, here we go. Am I going backwards? Okay, I missed it. I went too far. Yeah, here we go. On the 9th, we get this at about 5 o'clock in the morning. We're going to get this Aldebaran, double-eyed bull. That's the big ritual. So that's what we watch out for in the next week or so. And at that time, of course, the sun in Pisces, we know who's behind it. Mercury is still in Aquarius on that day. So that's good news right there. With Venus, Saturn and Pluto in Sagittarius. And here's another reason of that event, because these factions that we're dealing with they're using the energies of Jupiter and Mars. We hear that all the time, even in, like I tell you all the time, in all the old plays where Julius Caesar's running around screaming, "Where's my eagle?" I'll tell you something else they say. The prognosticator comes and he always asks them, "What are the gods of your house?" And they always say Jupiter and Mars. Always. And they're trying to tell everybody it's Saturn. No, it's Jupiter and Mars. So when you got Jupiter, this is at 5 o'clock in the morning on April the 9th. You have Jupiter in the house of the eagle, Mars's house, water. You have the sun in water. But you have the moon who rules water in fixed earth in the Black Lodge. And that is big ritual. and Mars there too. I wouldn't be surprised. At this point, it's almost in the stars. You wouldn't even want to call it a false flag. That's almost, wow. What are your interpretations of that? That's the day this is what I would call very auspicious. But again, there is duality, and that's what they play on, right? If a prognosticator for the other side looked at this chart, he would tell them it's a great day to start a business, and that has to do with military. There's big money when you talk Taurus. With the earth signs, for some reason, I've noticed over and over and over, the pattern has appeared that because they're earth signs, they have to do with work, right? Earth signs are hard workers. It's energy. It's earth energy. And fixed earth energy, Taurus, it's about making money, saving money, wealth, riches. The earth signs are all like this. They all are good at making money, are good at their work, but and the fixed ones are diligent. Fixed and cardinal are diligent about it, but it's the way they spend money that's different. And here, with Mars invoked, it's emotional. It can be warlike. He just came out of his own house of fire, and all of this is opposed to Jupiter. So you've got Mars and Jupiter opposed each other. Jupiter and the Sun are both in water. Mars and Jupiter are both on the fixed cross with the Moon, all in Taurus. And this is the Black Lodge, and this is the White Lodge. These are the entities in play at this time. This would be Freemasonry, and this would be religions. All of them, all of the religions. So keep that in mind. That's why we have religious wars, by the way. It's because of the time that we're in, and all of that's passing, right? As we move into Aquarius, we're going to be moving out of this battle of fire and ice. That's going to be over. It's going to be heaven on earth. We're going to be done with this. And I see this happening in the stars right now. There's a whole group of people that were born right after World War II. When Pluto was in Cancer, was the age of the destroyer, the age of water. It was the battle of the Pacific Theater, the battle of water and sky. Sky and water. And water lost, by the way. Water lost the battle. The airplanes blew up all the ships in the water. Water lost. But the generation that came after that was Pluto and Leo. And this was the baby boomer generation. That's what they called it. But it was also the generation that started the fire. And the fire that they started was one in the mind. It was a fire of ideology and that war mentality. And we're watching this play out between Jupiter, this battle between Saturn and Jupiter. We're going to get to watch go down in the next 2 years, because they're going to do this double retrograde, almost like a waltz dance back and forth out of Capricorn and Sagittarius, which are their two houses. And one is the house of ideology, and the other one is the house of government, govern the mind. So Jupiter's been in control this whole age through religion. The religion crowns the king. So the candlestick maker controls the butcher and the baker, until the baker got the upper hand on the candlestick maker. And now it's all blackmail. They're all blackmailing each other. And it's just a pitiful, pitiful system that we're watching eat itself alive. That's what it's doing. You don't have to do anything. Just sit back. They're eating each other alive. And that's how it's meant to be, because as we move into the age of Aquarius, there can be only one. They're trying to create a new world order. They've not woke up to the fact yet one already exists. The True Lodge is being born into this world after they pull their little air and water ritual in World War II. They jumped the gun. They changed the times and the seasons. Now they're going to have to reap that. They planned it all out. And now they're paying the price because this generation came next. And this is a sigil for Babylon. It's a sigil of confusion. But it's also a sigil of courage, like none other. Leos have audacity. I have to say, y'all have audacity, balls, courage, like no other. The masculine cross altogether. This would represent John the Beloved, the only one who had the courage to show up at the crucifixion. And here, you know, the reason we have to have this thing called courage is because of what we don't know. We fear. Courage is a balance to a fear. But when you know about something, there's no need to fear. The only thing we fear is not knowing. It's the unknowing. So here you don't have to fear either on this fixed, on the masculine axis of the fixed cross. There's no fear here either because there's knowledge here. At the other aspect of Leo, courage is required because as Aquarius is I know, here it's I don't know. I just don't know. But that's a good place to start because a lot of times we get to points in our lives, I've been there, where, well, I know what I know now and there's nothing left to know. And boy, have I learned the untruth of that. I have come to realize I could live 1,000 years and I would never scrape the surface of what all there is really to know. I thought what I wanted to know was truth, and I realized I always had truth. Truth was all I had. Everything else is part of the programming. Truth, the truth I have is the memories that I have before coming into this body. And what I brought here with me. What did I bring into this world? I brought truth. I brought my truth. And that's that we've always been alive. We always will be. This is just a blip. We're just in the movie theater watching the show. Being in this body is like getting in the seat. We're in an interactive opera house. None of this is real. This body is not me. I do not worship this body. This body is a construct. It's a construct. The real me is on the inside. I have a light body and it looks like my body. But it's more real and it don't die. And it's not in any pain and it don't hurt. And it knows. And it's my higher self. And I've met my higher self. So I actually know what I'm talking about. I'm not reading out of a book or anything. I don't have books that I read out of when I do these charts. All of this stuff is in my head. It's what I've learned about alchemy. I have a relationship with this circle, and so do you. There's a zodiac in your body. There's a zodiac in your head. It's your crown. And this is my star. This is the star I'm following. This is the stone in the crown that matters in this lifetime. That's what the book says. And as we move through the ages, the stones change. But then there are those who don't want to change. This is why Uranus has come into being. Uranus represents the conscious mind. Uranus does not rule Aquarius. Remember, the observer affects the experiment. Where Uranus is where the collective conscious mind is currently at. And it's fixing to move into war. Or self-purification. The duality of everything. Aries was supposed to be an age about holy people. A purified people. And instead, they became exactly the opposite. The most abominable thing. To me, this is like the dark crystal. The priesthood split in Aries. And it split itself between the past, the Black Lodge, and the future. Religion. It created religion. The sheepfold is right here. The flock came out of, this is the flock in the Egyptian tale. The Pleiades is the flock. The flock came out of Egypt and it straight into the head of the beast. And there they sit today. They are the power. They are the collective conscience that sits in all religions, no matter which one. Organized religion. That's what this is. It's all about, here's the candlestick maker. This is the butcher. And this is the baker. The baker makes the dough. The butcher makes the wars. He's the king. And the candlestick maker is the priest. And it's rub-a-dub-dub. 3 dudes in a tub. All right. Go commit that random act of kindness. Let's be done with the tales, the fairy tales, the delusion that's been perpetrated on all of us. And as we can now, if we begin to observe the age of Aquarius and the stars and follow the Lamb wherever he goes on the horizon, then we can move into that. We can collectively move into the next age. I have been asked, what do we do to get into the next age? How can we get there? This is where Fomalhaut's going to be in play when this goes down. When all this goes down, it's going to go down with the sun. The moon it's going to be nighttime. The moon's not over the horizon, but Fomalhaut comes up first that day before the sun. Let's see. Let's do it by minutes and see which one comes up first. Fomalhaut rises before the sun on this day. Yes. Are together. No, Fomalhaut's coming up first. So right now we're watching, let's pull it back to today. Let's go forward. Yeah, right now the sun's coming up before Fomalhaut. But in a few days, Fomalhaut's going to be rising before the sun. I'll keep you posted. Go out and make the world the age of Aquarius. Love one another. Be kind one to another.